In the main, the media tend to have a stereotypical view of disability, and that is that it's fine while you're an Olympian paraplegic winning gold medals, you're actually then a good disabled person who needs lots and lots of cheering on. Where they're not so good is when you are living day to day with a very serious disability or maybe a learning difficulty or mental health. The attitude then is that we need lots of caring for, that we're quite expensive, and that our lives are somehow flawed in some way, that we're not just normal citizens, we're people with disabilities who need extra care, extra support, and sometimes, we're a bit of a burden, especially on carers. It takes extraordinary willpower to rise above some of the negative attitudes that the public have of disability. So, for instance, if we're told that we're not able to work, that we should stay at home, or that we're a nuisance if we go out in a crowded shopping centre, that we should have special days, for instance, for Christmas shopping, that begins to make us feel that we're a nuisance, that we're a burden, that we are not seen as equal citizens. And of course, one then gets quite depressed. It was very much the same for women. In the last century, if they were told that they were good if they stayed at home, had babies, and did what women should do, and didn't interfere with politics or work, they were good, but if they did, they were somehow bad. It's not so different for disabled people. As long as we stay in our box of being charitable, kind of people who are given charity and people who are smiley and grateful, then we're okay. But when we step out of that box and demand rights, then sometimes people find that a bit odd. I'm not Pollyanna about assisted dying or whatever. Sorry, can I start that one? I have every empathy for people who say they want to end their life because they feel that it's intolerable. And I would support anyone to speak out on that and fight for what they want. However, we do not live as individuals in society, and it can't just be about us. There is no such thing as unfettered rights, either to live or die. We have to see it in the context of people who live together in a community. And I would say that one person's right to be assisted to die will affect thousands of people's life with severe disabilities or terminal illnesses in a way that would be completely negative and would end and result in their early death. I can't let that happen. It's just too dangerous. My fear about an assisted dying bill becoming law is that people who currently say they want to die, in the main, are people who fear being a burden on the state, on their family, on the community. It has nothing to do with the state of their physical capacity or pain. It's simply they do not wish to be a burden. This means that they, in the future, will be able to take the option to die. Think of the pressure to take that option if you feel a burden. And I think that means our society will begin to pat on the back people who say, right, I'm doing the good thing now. I'm popping off because I don't want to be a burden. And is that a good culture? I think it's a bad culture. I think people are campaigning for this law so hard because in the main they are fearful of what living with a terminal illness might bring. They are so desperately fearful of being a burden, but they're also fearful of what it all means. One of the things that Lord Joffrey said to me early on in this campaign, he said, "Jane, I don't want to die with tubes coming out of me." And I said to Lord Joffrey, "Joel," I said, "I love my tubes. I'm on my tubes every night. They hold no fear for me. They actually keep me alive and make me feel good. Tubes aren't necessarily bad." And I think basically people are very fearful of this end of life stage. They think it's going to be painful, it's going to be shocking, and it's going to be hideously undignified. Well, let me tell you, people take me to the loo, they fix me up with tubes, they do all sorts of things for me, like feeding me and helping me. I can tell you quite rightly that I am a dignified person. It doesn't have to be that way. The only thing that makes it that way is other people who think it's undignified. A good day for me is a very ordinary day. It's a day when I go to work and I'm sitting with my colleagues and we're having a good debate and they're telling me off when I'm doing something wrong, or they're challenging me on my views, or they congratulate me when I'm saying something that is skillful and useful. That's a good day for me. It's a day of debate where I'm the good guy or the bad guy or just the ordinary guy. A bad day for me is when I'm sitting with a group of people and somebody turns to me and says, "Gosh, Jane, I think you're so brave. I couldn't live like that. I'd rather be dead." And I always have to take a deep breath, because what they're saying to me at that point in time is that they think that my life actually has no value, because if it did, then I would want to live. And they feel that I'd be better off dead. We have to absorb those attitudes nearly every day of our lives. Is there no wonder that some people want to die?